Hey, what's going on? Today I'm going to be showing you how to modify a game's value, in-game value. For example, if you want to modify your health or your ammo or your money. Um, Bear in mind this isn't going to work on well, it will work, but it's not going to be as easy on games like, I don't know, games that store stuff server side, especially like the Crew 2, for example. If you want to modify your money on this trying to use this method, it's not going to work. Um, and like stuff like CSGO, this will be effective, but it wouldn't be as straightforward. You would have to write something in C++ or Python or another language, C Sharp, whatever. But it would go around being the same to get like the offsets. It may not be this easy, but they have GitHub repos for stuff like that. But for like Ready or Not, Sniper Elite contracts, whatever, games that are more so like offline or online, but aren't like massive. Like this would work on GTA 5. You would probably get banned if you done this online. But we use Cheat Engine most of the time to get the offsets. But games without anti-cheats and stuff like that, or single player games, you can just modify the value and you'll be good. So that's the disclosure. So the first thing that you need to do to start off is, you know, modify, like you need to know how much ammo or health that you already spawn with or start with by default. So I know based on my tests that you can't see it on the screen, but I know based on my tests that in this game you have 30 rounds per clip. Okay. Um, so the first thing we're going to do is come out and we're going to connect to our game. So we're going to come up here and click this little icon right here, and we're going to select Ready or Not or whatever game you're trying to, modify the values for. And we're going to start off by appending our value as 30, and we're going to do a scan. And what this is going to do, it's going to go through and it's going to get all of the addresses with the value of 30. An address is basically a specific memory location where data or instructions are stored. That's really all you need to know. And so if we shoot, for example, 5 times, we're going to drop our ammo by 5, right? So we'll have 25 left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now we're going to modify this value up here to 25. And we're going to click next scan. And we can see that we have the addresses right here. We can ignore that. And we're going to move these down. We're going to shoot again. So we have 24. And you can see that they modified in real time. One of these addresses will be used to basically update the value, so we can write the value. It may be this one, we can check. So it's not, so it's this one. So it's this address right here, which is responsible for being able to update the ammo. So we can delete this record entirely. And we can call this dynamic ammo address, or ADDR, stands for address. Now we have this. One thing to note, in certain games they have the dynamic v static address. So in an old game, the address for the ammo will never change, unless there's an update or something, it may change, but it will always be this 2D, 7B, etc. Whereas on modern games, every new round or whenever you load up the game, it will change that value. And so this is where we do something called array of bytes scanning, or AOB scanning, which is basically a pattern of bytes used to identify specific code or data. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and we're going to find out what writes to this address, which is just going to give us a bit more information about the instruction particular for shooting. So we shot, and if we come back, we can see that we got a result turned. Okay. So to break this down, this instruction right here, the 7FF, is the memory address for where the instruction is located, and then this 66890491 is basically a hexadecimal representation of machine code for the instruction, and then the instruction MOV or MOV RCX RDX for AX, which we're going to be modifying this instruction basically. And that's kind of how we're going to get our cheat to work. So we can show in the disassembler, and we can see that we get kind of all the information. If you see a quick tip, if you see something push, like push I can't remember the exact opt code, but it's push something. If you see that, you're at the start of the function, which is actually really useful. As you can, let me see if I can find it. 2 seconds. Cool. So I was unable to locate it, but if you see something like push EIP or RBX at beginning of like when you open it, you're at basically, if you see EIP, it's extended instruction pointer, I believe. It's points into the first instruction of the function, and if you see like the EBP, it may like contain some like the time of the course, stuff like that. So that was a reference that I got. I'd like to show you it in real time, but I couldn't find the particular part that I was looking for in Cheat Engine. Anyway, enough tangents. What we are going to look for is this tools, and we're going to go to auto assemble, and we're going to go to template and AOB injection. We can leave that and we can click continue. So basically this is a script that will allow us to enable our cheat. So we could do this in Python or C# or C++ or another language, but we're going to keep it basic for this video. If you want to see a video like that covers AOB scanning and writing a complete cheat in Python that you can just run and it just does it without Cheat Engine, you know, I'll consider making one. But this particular part right here is where we're interested, as this is responsible, as we can see based on what I showed you earlier. So yeah, let me just pull this over for you. So as you can see, I break down this kind of right here, and this AX we're going to be getting rid of, and we're going to be modifying that to our value, ammo value. So for example, if you want 99999, you can just basically modify that. You can save this, and you can assign it to the current cheat table, which will assign it down here, or you can just execute it from here. Either way works. So if you want to execute it from here, just do that. And if we look at our ammo, we're full ammo. If we look up here, we start shooting. You can see that that's our ammo now, and you can see that works. If you want to change it for example, I don't know, just change it to like 10, and we execute that, we can see that we're now going to have 10 ammo. Actually, we may not, because yeah, I think it just resets, but basically it's as simple as that realistically. It's not very hard. You can modify the script to give you as much ammo as you want. I would personally just suggest doing 999, and when we disable the script we can see that it reset it to 30. If we were to re-enable it, we would go to 999 again. If you try to execute this, you're probably going to get an error. That's because everything's already changed, I believe. But basically, yeah, that's kind of how you can do it. Cheat Engine has like something built in. For example, if you want to enable like a speed hack, you can enable that there. You can set it to like 10, and you can see that that's already modified our speed. And then you could obviously do that manually. Just find what's responsible for like your default speed, and you can kind of go through that. If you want to do the health, it's a similar process. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to see kind of like how to make like multi-mods for this game, you know, if you want to see how to get like Godmode and, you know, unlimited armor and new recoil, etc., just let me know, and if I get time, I'll consider making a video. And you know, this does work online, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of gameplay at the end, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. Take care.
I traded working 9 to 5 for the minimum for working non-stop, so my life be like a cinema screen. But in the end, I wouldn't have it any other way. Got on my knees and for this rap to work is what I prayed. And that was happening, crunching numbers like Captain, a serial killer, compelling listeners with his passion for words. Never acting my verbs, but truly fashion to serve. Not only matches but curves, not just the hood but the birds. Know you hear it every time I grace the mic. Then I give it to God, feeling blinded by the lights in his song.
Let me see you put them up. Reach the skies, let the stars up above. Cause it's one time for the underdog. One time for the underdog. You got the world on your team. Even if that ain't what it seems. It's one time.